What's up everyone, how's it going? So I have been playing a ton of Starfighter Assault lately in Star Wars Battlefront 2, and while I was having an extremely fun time playing it, it made me wonder about some things that I personally would love to change about it and actually do a complete rework on it. So this video is kind of a concept of, let's say DICE hired me to actually create a whole concept rework for the Starfighter Assault mode, and I'm just going to be going over all the things I would be changing about it. So basically, while yes, I do love this mode, I find myself having a major issue with it, and that is actually the repetitiveness of the main objectives in it. And so we'll get into the objective in just a minute, but the first thing that I would actually add or change about it is actually a whole new mechanic in this game. In a way, this mechanic is actually in the campaign somewhat, but this is actually going to take out the spawn screens for the main menu whenever you die or at the start of the match. Now this rework is going to be like a callback to the original Battlefront 2. So basically what's going to happen is whenever you die or the start of the match happens, you spawn in your hangar bay in either your Venator or droid control ship or whatever, and just like the classic game, you actually have to run up as a character onto the ship that you want to fly in and jump in it manually. As much of a sort of small detail it is, it just makes the game a lot more fun and so much more immersive. I also wish the vehicles in this game were this way, where they are already spawned onto the ground and you can just jump in it. There's no more battle points and stuff for vehicles or starfighters in Galactic Assault, or just vehicles in Capital Supremacy, because I just find it kind of boring to have to go back to a main menu, respawn as a character, and then wait an entire 10 seconds just to spawn in as a vehicle. I feel like it kind of takes away from the immersion of the game, and just having them be on the ground already really makes you feel immersed in the battle. So yeah, for Starfighter Assault, I would have it to where you are actually located in the main hangar bay on your Venator or whatever, and you do have to run up to your ship and then get in it, and you actually have to press like spacebar or whatever it would be on the Xbox or PlayStation controller to actually lift it off from the ground. So there is no cutscene at all that plays to this, again adding even more to the immersion of the game. But what about heroes? Obviously this is going to be an issue if there's no spawn screen, and in this case there is sort of one already. So basically what happens is, say whenever you do reach 2,000 battle points, a little icon will pop up on your screen saying a hero starfighter ship is available. It will either say the name or it will say multiple starfighter hero ships are available. Would you like to select one? And then you can hit yes or no, and then say you do hit yes, then you will go into another spawn screen where you do select your hero starfighter, and then in this case a cutscene will play for that, but only for the hero starfighters. But now I actually wanted to talk about the main rework that I want to do for Starfighter Assault. And so obviously the main objective in all the maps is to blow up a certain thing, whether that's a droid control ship, a Venator, or even a dreadnought or something like that. You want to blow it up. But basically this rework is going to allow you to blow it up in separate ways. So basically the main thing is you are now allowed to land your starfighters in the enemy's hangar bay. So again, this is taken from the classic Battlefront 2 and was one of my favorite mechanics in the game. I loved going into the enemy's ship and boarding it and then blowing it up from the inside out. But in this version, there's a few additions to this that you would actually have to do. So to get into the hangar bay alone, you would actually have to destroy the shield gates blocking off each of the hangar bay barriers. This is something that they actually had to do in the battle over Coruscant in Revenge of the Sith in order for Obi-Wan and Anakin to get into General Grievous' ship. So basically, once you take out the shield gate, or the shield generator I should say, you have 5 minutes of it to be open. So in this time frame, you're actually allowed to fly in to the hangar, land your ship, and actually attempt to blow it up from the inside out. And because of Capital Supremacy, the interiors for a lot of these command ships are already created, so it's a lot less work on DICE, and they're going to be a lot more detailed. So basically, it's almost like a Phase 2 version of Capital Supremacy in Starfighter Assault, but there is actually a lot of AI enemies in this ship trying to attack you, so it's not like it depends on the actual enemy team to come in and stop you. Now, they still can do that, but there are still going to be AI enemies or even friendlies in your Venators. So I just really think having this additional objective or way to defeat the objective really would add so much to this game mode, and I am kind of disappointed that DICE has not really looked into something like this, as Starfighter Assault seems to be a mode that they are not really ignoring, but just don't have any content planned for it. The only things that we have gotten changed are some bug fixes and all that, but as for content, nothing has been added in so long now, and they really haven't said anything on it either, despite a ton of people wondering, hey, what happened to Starfighter Assault? It's my favorite game mode, or something along the lines of that, and there just hasn't really been any communication around that. Now, I have seen people say that due to Criterion, who created the mechanics for Starfighter Assault, now they are no longer working on Battlefront, that they cannot create any content for it. Now, this just isn't true. Criterion does not own the rights to Starfighter Assault in any way. They are a part of EA's branch, and they collaborated to make this game mode, as well as the Starfighter mechanics. Now, that does mean that DICE is still allowed to add content to it, unless they say otherwise, which, of course, I could be wrong, but everything I've seen, they are still allowed to make content for it, as they even made the Hero Starfighter Assault mode back in July of 2019, I believe it was, and that's way long after Criterion stopped working on this game. So to say that because of that they cannot add any content is just false, and so I just wanted to let you guys know on that. So yeah, basically the main rework I would personally add if I worked for DICE in Starfighter Assault is the fact that you can blow up the shield generator gate and you can land your Starfighter in the main hangar bay. And also an additional thing that I wanted to add to this is if you are playing as a Starfighter and you land in your hangar bay, you now are using that hero in that hangar bay, so a normal clone trooper doesn't jump out of Anakin's Starfighter, as funny as that would be. So it's just kind of a nice addition to it that I think would add to the mechanic of the game as a whole. And I feel like they could even make this a whole new game mode called Capital Supremacy Starfighter Edition. Since you are still taking out a capital ship, you just starting off in Starfighters for, I guess, the somewhat first phase. And I really do think that Starfighter Assault is something that the DICE developers should look back into, as I absolutely love playing the mode, but there are some changes I would like to see, like this one. However, if a Battlefront 3 is on the whiteboard phase or something, there's no confirmation of that, just speculation, I would still love to see them work on this way for that game. Now, I'm actually planning on making an entire video discussing a possible Battlefront 3. Again, we don't have any word on that, but I do think there is a decent chance of them creating a third Battlefront for the next-gen consoles. But again, that's a whole separate video that I am currently working on. But that is pretty much going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Be sure, as always, to let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below. What things would you change in this mode as well as add to it, and what do you think about my ideas? Just be sure and let me know. But yeah, again, I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, be sure and leave a like on it, as it really helps out the channel a lot. And if you're new, subscribe for more Star Wars news, gameplay, and more. And I'll hopefully see you in the next one.